Okay, right, here we go. Hello. Hey. Hello. Okay, hello. Welcome back to Rough as Rats podcast, yada yada, with me, Maisie FL. It's still me, and I always think about, after I filmed a podcast episode, if this is like, I reflect on the episode and if it's the first one someone will watch. So, oh my god, the minute I start filming this, my nose is itching and it looks like I'm picking it. Awesome. It looks like I've got fucking an issue. Tissue for my issue. Anyway, I like the last episode that I did with my cousin. If that is the first episode you ever watched or listened to, all you heard me talk about was men wanting to fuck up the arse. And how that sort of reflects on their sexuality. And here's the thing, right? I do not think a man wanting to do anal or partaking in anal with a woman makes them gay. No, sorry. I don't think that's necessarily a telltale sign that you're gay. Not at all. Not at all. Like, at all protected. No, I just think if that is the only thing you're talking about, the only sort of thing you're interested in sexually, and you're really pushing that to the forefront of conversation, maybe some inner reflection would be worth doing. I'm not saying that you are 100% gay. You know who the only person is who can tell you who you are? Me. No, me, Sue Sylvester. I just think maybe it's time to have a look. June is a wonderful month. Okay, there are so many. You could go to any shop and you are safe with their rainbow icon, with that sheer rainbow filter over their normal logo. Okay? Capitalist society loves the gays now. They want to profit from them. So I don't think there's any shame in saying, maybe I'm not going to find my soulmate on Hinge because they are in fact on Grindr. Okay? Just change the settings. Let's just be free with it. Like, let's just take away the shame. You know, I feel like, I don't know, oh gosh, I don't know, just wanting to eat arse and wanting to fuck up the arse constantly, just, I don't know if that is 100% aligned with straight behaviour. But then again, what is a straight man if not evil? Okay? I don't know, I just think, I don't know, but then again, I've just said I was worried about if that was the first episode you watched of mine or listened to, and now we're in not even 2 minutes in and I've already spoken about fucking up the arse. So maybe it is just a theme. What is terrifying is remembering that these are public, so literally anyone can watch these, and someone that has watched these is my nana, my actual biological nan, my nan on my mum's side. Thank God that no one else in terms of nans have watched it. I say thank God, and then I realise my nan's dead, and that's not something to thank about. I'm not thankful for that. I'm sad about that. So great, thanks for bringing that up. But my nana on my mum's side, she told my cousin that she watched our podcast episode, and we were like, oh, okay. And Tilly was like, that's not good. Like, remember the stuff we spoke about? And I was like, no, but like none of it was that bad. And then I remember how often I spoke about being fucked up the arse. But the thing is, right, I think we should just get rid of this whole stigma and like this assumption that old people don't want to talk about fucking, because I think they're the freakiest of us all. Because like my nan's got 3 kids. She knows what it's about. She's about it. Like, you know, she's obviously fucked. Like, there's no denying that. And then I also think about the fact that like you see these people, like my dad was one of 5 or one of 6. I can't even remember. So like, old people were fucking, and they were like popping a new kid out every 3 to 5 business days. So it's like, why is it so taboo? Like, I saw a video on TikTok of a woman gifting her grandmother the gift of heated rivalry for Christmas, and the grandmother was frothing at the mouth. She was like, do you get to see stuff? And the woman was like, yes, you do. Like, you get to see a lot. And I was like, that is the only like reaction that's valid to knowing that you're going to see Connor Story's junk. I had a visceral reaction to watching that show. So like, I don't know why we act as if old people can't talk about box, like getting dick down, because they've done it. They've been about it, and they're the ones you don't want to talk about sex in front of them, but they're the ones, the minute that you meet a man, they're like, oh, so you're gonna have a baby? Oh, so you're telling me to fuck raw? That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, moving on from that. Hello, welcome back. My co-star is out to get me at the moment. Yesterday, my co-star said that you do not need to sleep with everyone that wants to sleep with you, which I know that because I'm now 24, but at 19, I didn't know that. So where was that notification 5 years ago? Fuck. Where was that notification 5 years ago when I needed it, co-star? And then today, I get one that says, your day at a glance, you will be heartbroken again and again. And it's like, okay, oh, okay, don't really want that. And I do believe in co-star. I believe that it knows what it's talking about. So what do I do now? Like, knowing that information is out there, I can swipe across and get rid of the notif, but that you can't take away what they've said. It's out there in the open now. Do you know what I mean? So that's a little bit terrifying. And then some days, like, co-star is my best friend and my worst enemy. Like, some days co-star will say to me, like, you are so beautiful. And I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. And then some days it will be like, you are going to meet the worst person ever. And you're going to be depressed for 3 years and then everything will be okay. And you're like, okay, you're not really selling it to me. And then the do's and don'ts. Okay, let's look at my do's and don'ts for the day, because these are always interesting. Okay, do. Okay. Right, it says, you will be heartbroken again and again. The person who hurt you wasn't trying to destroy you, liar. They were just being human, don't care. Your fear of it happening again is worse than the actual pain ever was. Stop choosing yesterday's wounds over today's possibilities. Okay. Trouble in sex and love. No, thank you. Do retail therapy, always. Ask for help. Okay. Ugly cry. When I'm crying, it's always ugly. Don't list of exes dwelling old love letters. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that, co-star. Oh my god. What the hell? What is this? Abby acts like a 30-year-old with a credit card and good taste in wine. Okay, Abby Mations. My son, I don't even know what my sun is in Virgo, my moon is in Gemini, and where's my other one? My rising is in Sagittarius. I think. I know for sure that I'm Virgo. Oh my god, I'd love to just be Virgo, because I'm such a proud Virgo. Anyway, moving on. What was I even going to say to you? Literally couldn't tell you for the life of me. Oh my god, I'm 2 months post breakup. That is what I was going to tell you. I've been broken up with for 2 months now. That sounds as if it's like it just keeps happening. No, I got broken up with 2 months ago now, which is insane because it feels like so much time has passed and also so little. Like, how has it gone from January to February to March? Like, I know that's how the passage of time works, but how? Like, how? Riddle me that. And when we broke up and I was like, oh my god, my life is never going to be the same. Of course it's not going to be the same, bitch. It's going to be so much better, you know? But it does feel quite, I don't even know, like, odd, because I was so used to being in a relationship. And I was thinking about this the other day, right? I was like, oh, my life felt like it had a very clear path, a very clear road that I was going down, even though, oh my god, hello? The minute I start a podcast, the minute I start can I help?
I didn't know you was here.
Is that it?
Sorry.
I swear to shot the minute I start filming a podcast, that's when everyone wants to talk to me. When I'm not filming a podcast, no one cares. I'm just left here. That's fine with me. When I start a podcast, that's when everyone wants to start running their mouth. Anyway, so yeah, I wrote down the other day about being broken up with and how it's made me feel. Not even how it's made me feel, but like how it's changed the sort of trajectory of my life, which it was always going to change the trajectory of my life because, like, hello, I got broken up with. But I was so, like, I don't even know why I was so convinced that I would marry that man, because we did not work well together. Like, we had such unbelievably big differences in, like, so many aspects of life. Like, he didn't like this Grimace chair. That to me says everything. I wanted a pink Smeg kettle. He didn't want that. Okay, so, like, that is, like, kind of a telltale sign that it's not going to work. to me. But like, there were so many aspects of our life where we differed so much, because like, I'm so outspoken, I'm so extroverted, I just say what I think, whereas he's so introverted, so anxious, so like within himself, which I'm not even remotely saying that's a bad thing. Here we go, yawning. Oh, sorry, that's so rude. Rude. Anyway, but like, the way I was just like, I wrote it down. Let me read out what I said. I said, I would have stayed with him and given him a baby because I mould myself into what I think other people want from me and tell myself I want the same, that it will make me happy. Okay, bars start just first and foremost. But like, the way I just like was resigned to the fact that he wanted to get married, like that's, and this is the thing, right? When I think about my life, I always, like, growing up, I always wanted to get married and I always wanted to have children. And then I grew up, okay, and I worked out how awful the world is, and I worked out that being a mother, a wife not so much, but being a mother, you have to be very selfless, but also having a child is quite selfish. Like, I saw someone saying that having a child is the most selfish thing you can do. I don't know if I agree with it to that extent, but I do think that I'm too selfish to have a child now anyway. Maybe when I'm like 30, but that isn't even that far away. So like, maybe not when I'm 30, maybe when I'm like 35, whatever. Maybe I want a child, okay? Maybe that will be like the next step for me in my life, because there isn't like, I always say like, now I'm like not sure if I want kids. I think deep down I know I would love a child, and I think I could be a good mum, and I would give, like, because the people around me, the people that I like associate with, my friends, my family, they're like my most prized possession. Not that I own them, but like, I love showing love for the people I love, basically, if that makes sense. So I do think I'd be a good mum, but I am very selfish. Like, I like to do my own thing. I like to go out. I like to go to the cinema. I like to just like spend money on myself and like go out for dinner and buy myself a nice sweet drink or a little bit of ice cream. And it's like, when you're a mother, you need to be buying things for the baby. And it's like, can I afford to do that and be scrolling on Vinted every day multiple times? I don't think so. So I do think if we'd stayed together, you would have seen me, like, I don't know, I also kind of low-key knew that we were not going to stay together. Like, deep down, I was like, there's no way. Like, I would try and visualize our wedding or having children, and I'd be able to do it, but then I would remember, like, the cost of doing that, which would be me being unhappy, because I hated his friends and they hated me, and it was never going to work. And I said to him when we argued, I said, I don't want to live in a world where we get married and your friends are there, or I have children and your friends are like part of their lives, because I don't like them. They make me feel awful about myself. Why would they be there? Why would your friends be there? No, why would your friends be there? You know? So I think deep down I knew that we were never going to work, but like, that is just a horrible thing to realize. And you sort of like, I think we should have broken up, like, realistically we should have broken up last summer, because that's when our, like, we always had problems, but that was when it got like really fucking bad, the problems last summer. So we should have broken up then, but I think I was trying so hard to hold on to like the good parts of our relationship. And obviously, like, I'd booked to go to Paris for my birthday with him, and then I'm gonna yawn again. Okay, sorry. And then obviously I'd booked for us to go to Amsterdam for his birthday. So it was like, I was kind of holding on, because I was like, oh, we've booked these things. And like, when it was just me and him, it was really nice. But like, that whole relationship kind of warped my mind. And I know that you change and you adapt and you grow from like relationship to relationship and person to person. But like, I don't think I knew who I was in that relationship. Like, I had no real identity, like, especially in his world. I was just Michael's girl. Oh my god, I shouldn't have said his name. Everyone fucking knows his name. I was like, oh, let me try and protect, like, everyone knows who he is. His name fucking, yeah, okay, whatever. But like, I was just his girlfriend to his friends. I was not my own person, and they could lie and say that yes I was, but then I know the truth. Like, I know how I felt and I know how they made me feel. But like, I am too much, like, anyone is too much of their own person to just be someone else's like partner. Do you know what I mean? And that is never who I wanted to be. I don't want to just be his girlfriend. Like, I'm my own I'm fucking Maisie. Like, I'm my own person. I have so much to give and so much love, and like, I feel like I'm a pretty like, I don't even know. I don't know if I'd say I'm well-rounded. Maybe I would, but like the thing is like I just didn't feel as if I was my own person. I didn't feel as if I had my own identity. And I watered myself down a lot around his friends. And it was like, I'm not going to raise children. Like, if I was to raise children, I genuinely think like my ideal scenario would be either marrying someone and then being like the love of my life. And like, they wouldn't be my soulmate because my best friend's my soulmate. But like, they would be like romantically the love of my life. And they would adore me and they would just do like everything I said and they would just be the best person ever. And then we'd have a baby. Or I would get pregnant from a one night stand and just decide to keep it and then raise it on my own, because I am not letting any shitbox man dull who I am as a person and then that rub off on my child, okay? There's no way. There's no way. There's simply no way. It's just not happening. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely not happening. So I do think that we were destined to fail because I could never be myself. And even around him, I felt like I was too loud or too annoying, too boisterous, too this, too that. Like, we couldn't communicate properly. And that's not from me not trying. My God, did I try. Like, I tried so fucking hard in that relationship. I really did. And it just, like, it fizzled out. And it fizzled out a long time before we broke up. So 2 months on, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, oh, okay, yeah, oh, okay. Like, I feel good and I feel as if I know who I am a bit more. I still feel lost a lot of the time, but I feel like that is just being in your 20s, like not knowing what the fuck you're doing. But, oh, see, Bershka's giving me a refund, but they've charged me to return the product. So when does it end? What now? Like, oh, just fuck off. Anyway, sorry, like 16.71, and I did not pay 16.71. I paid more than that. I think I paid £25. Did I not? Hello? Sorry. I just found... This is so ridiculous. I just found an image on my phone from exactly 4 years ago when I when I slept with this guy. I think it was 4 years ago. Was that 5 years ago? No, it was 4 years ago. It was 2022. I slept with this guy and I took a picture with him in the mirror. I don't know what I was doing. Like, this is the thing. I've always had, like, I don't give a fuck-itis because, like, I've just slept with this guy that I've literally known, like, a day. And I've taken a picture with him in the mirror. And I've just found it. And I don't speak to him, like, romantically. Well, who knows? But I just sent it to him because I was like, oh, it's so funny. And he just replied, still taller than you. Okay, sorry, that just tickled me. That really tickled me. Anyway. Gosh, I hate laughing when a man says something. I hate it, but I did, okay? And captured live on camera. First time for everything. Anyway, so, yeah, I think now I feel a lot more sure of myself, but I also think when I reflect on the relationship, people, I think they always assume that I'm sad about it ending, and I'm not, because it was the right thing to do, and it was the right thing for me, well, definitely for him as well, because he was the one that fucking did it. But I'm just like, you know, when you sort of look back on something and you're like, what changed? Like, what happened? Like, because I can't even tell you when the bad thing, like, happened and, like, the whole relationship flipped. But, like, it did. And obviously there was, like, a part of the relationship that just went sour. And I held a lot of resentment against him because of the way he never fucking defended me. And he never stood up for me, and like there was just a lot of things where like I was like, oh, you could have done so much more for me, but you didn't because it made you uncomfortable. And like, not everything is supposed to make you comfortable, right? But it has made me reflect a lot about how I view myself, especially in correlation with how men see me. And I was speaking about this on my last episode with Tilly when I was talking about the Hinge date that never happened, which just like still, what the fuck? I couldn't even, like, that was literally supposed to be a week ago. So much happens in the span of a week. But like, I think so much of my self-worth in the past, especially when I was in my abusive relationship, especially when I was a teenager, especially when I like got pretty, because I was ugly at school. Like, I categorically, I don't think I was like an ugly person, but like I was made to feel ugly. I didn't get attention from boys, blah 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 blah. Then I like got a boyfriend, grew boobs, everything changed, like went through puberty basically, got a bit prettier, found my voice a bit. I was always quite like, this sounds so big-headed, but I was always quite funny. But like being funny is like just makes you weird in school. It doesn't make you like popular, it just makes you weird. But everyone's like, oh, you're funny, you're not pretty, you know, like you could, like those two things can't be like mutually exclusive. Like oh my god, that was huge for me. That was a huge word to drop in there. Mutually, what, 2 words? Okay, right, so any intelligence I had is just gone. Anyway, so I think I put a lot of my self-worth into what people would say about me, what people thought of me. Like, I always wanted to be, and I've always cared about being funny, because I think it is just like a huge part of who I am. Like when someone says you're funny, like, oh my god, that's such a fucking compliment. Like being able to make people laugh, I think is so important. And then obviously when then men would like take notice of my body and my face, it's like this weird euphoric feeling of a man being like, oh, you're sexy, or a man saying you're good looking or whatever. And so that is why dating apps are so bad for me, because there's that like instant gratification of a man saying that you're good looking, but then if he doesn't, like for me anyway, if he then doesn't want to see it through with you, if he doesn't want to take you on a date, if he doesn't want to go out with you, to me that just, I internalize that and I'm like, oh, it's like my problem, like I've got something wrong with me, when that is quite literally not the case in the slightest. But I've realized that like I was quite male centered, not in the fact that like I care. Like, if a man said to me, I don't like you, or if a man said to me, like, if a random man said to me, oh, like, you're ugly, like, random men said it to me on TikTok, and I'm like, okay, like, whatever. And, like, I will always care more about what my friends and my family think of me than a man. But I'm male-centered in the way that, like, if I'm talking to a man, I become very consumed with what they're saying, how quickly they're replying. If they want to meet up with me, I read into every text they send. And, like, let's boil this down. Men are such simple creatures. Like, all they know is to, like, eat, gym, fuck. Like, that's it. And shit and piss and sleep. Like, they're very simple in terms of, like, what they do. Obviously, not all men. Oh, my God. I'm not even going to get into that. Like, not all men. Like, some men have depth to them. They're interesting. They have sisters. They have a good relationship and that's not incestuous with their mother, you know? But like most men, they're kind of very easy to read. And so like when you read into their messages, when you think about what they're saying to you, when you care about what they're saying to you, you give them all this power and you're yielding your own power and you're giving it to a man. And why the fuck would you want to do that? But that is genuinely how I am with a man. I get so wrapped up, and also like I've got too much of a wild imagination. Like, I'd match with someone on Hinge and then be like, oh, I wonder, like, what our wedding would look like. And it's like, you actually need to be sedated and put down, like, put to sleep. Because why are you even thinking that? Like, who are you? Who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing? You know? So it's just like, I feel like now that I'm single, it's like a new thing to navigate. Like, I was navigating my breakup. I still am, because like I forget that it's still pretty fresh. Like, you think 3 years we were together, and I've never had a relationship that long. And like the whole thing of like the time it takes you to get over a relationship is half of the relationship, like the duration of it. That's a year and a half. I'm sorry, I am not fucking mourning a relationship that was deaders for a year and a half when that boy couldn't even fucking give me the decency to defend me to his fucking friends who were talking shit about me. Like, you think I'm gonna mourn him for a year and a half? Yeah, get fucked, mate. It's not happening. Like, I also had a month for every year you were together, or a month. Was it that? I don't know. But if it's a month for every year you're together, like, I'm coming up on 3 months basically. I've just passed 2, so I'm essentially at 3. And it's like, well, okay, awesome. Like, I'm over it. And I am over it. I do wonder like how I'll feel if I ever catch wind that he's with someone new. I do just think I'll feel sorry for her, because I will be like, oh, I know what it's like to be in that house, because I thought, you know, Charlie XCX, I think I'm gonna die in this house. Like, that's how I felt when I was there. So like, I feel like I'll just have a lot of sympathy for her. And if she ever found this podcast, I just want her to know that my DMs are open for when you are being bullied as well. Like, I understand. I know what you're going through. And it's just not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. I'm sorry. It's not. Like, I just don't understand Yeah, this is the thing. I don't understand why I put up with it for so long and why I tried to like make things work for so long when I knew deep down, like in my gut, I knew that it wasn't going to work because of the way he was, because of the way I am, because I have expectations and boundaries, and they were never being, my expectations were never being met and my boundaries were never being respected. And it's like, if you can't do those two things, which I would say are the fucking bare minimum of any friendship, relationship, anything, even like a fucking like friends with benefits situation, and I'm not using the word situationship and I'm not using the word talking stage because I do not believe in those things, okay? At the ripe old age of 24, I'm not going to have a talking stage. Having a talking stage, that is a conversation. Like, that is a conversation, and you're calling it a talking stage. Like, I saw someone say my eye contact ship. I was like, nah. Like, they thought we'd have flying cars, and we're using words like that. Don't even piss me off. Oh my God, itchy nose. But the other day, okay, this is actually comedy gold. I need to find it on my phone. So the other day, I get a load of notifications that I've got a load of new comments on YouTube, okay? And they're all by the same account. And I'm going to read you the first one because this is genuinely some of the funniest shit that's ever happened to me, okay? So, actually, no, I've not screenshotted it. Don't worry. I'm going to get there. See, I should have come more prepared. But I won't. Okay. Right, so, a woman left a comment on my TikTok saying, on my, what is it? Which one was it? Hello? Oh my God, this is so cute. Someone commented that she's a 65-year-old woman and she watches this. Love. Okay, so she commented on my video, the one that I'm talking about my breakup and I'm doing my makeup routine. She said, okay, I literally just want to preface this by saying I love this woman. She's my icon. She's my hero. She's like my Jesus and I want to meet her. She said, kiddo, I'm 39, single, don't want kids. I found this out by getting hives thinking I do. And it's so nice when I remind myself of this because then it feels like I have all the time in the world to have fun, and why not? Baby girl, I'm sorry you feel like that after this. He's a dick. But it was scary hearing you say you have to get settled by a certain date, etc., because it means you're dating to fulfill a deadline rather than it just being someone you want to see tomorrow just because you do, not for any other reason. Take it easy, have fun. We aren't our previous generations. Women have only just got permission to live out their own lives and not be property, so I guess we freak out when trying to imagine a woman not being married or with kids because it's all they were allowed to do. Whereas men have endless accounts since the beginning of time of what they did with their freedom. So as women, we are pioneers and stepping into the unknown. One may want to borrow back and just stick to getting married and spending 18 years of your life not thinking about it but other people. Trust me, it's worth it. Step into the unknown, follow your heart, be brave, and there is no other feeling like this. Have fun. So I commented back saying like, I needed to hear this. Thank you so much. My life has been much more fulfilling and it's only been 2 months. You're right about me dating to fulfill a deadline. And then she said, maybe I'm too old to be watching you, but just discovered you and I think you're fun. I was like, absolutely not. No age limit here. Then she commented, so she's gone back through my videos and gone on the ones where my ex-boyfriend are in them, and she commented on one saying, my Amsterdam vlog, she put, practically a solo trip by the end. How could you not see it wasn't you? He's just a shitty person. You're clearly getting so sick of him as the video goes on. I'll stop commenting, but it's so infuriating watching you tear yourself down in your makeup video. So watching back to stuff with him in, I am so infuriated on your behalf. This woman is my hero, okay? So she commented on my Amsterdam vlog, right? I need to reply to all these comments because they were making me cry. Then she also said, okay, on the same video, she said, imagine doing this trip with a friend. Less unnecessary awkwardness due to a drip and more laughs and spontaneity and enthusiasm, for fuck's sake. Then she commented on the surprising my boyfriend for his birthday. She said, hello again. You can't sleep properly sharing a bed with him because the body knows. Have you seen those videos about struggling to sleep next to boyfriends and it actually being your body registering that you shouldn't be there before you consciously accept it? I was crying myself because she's so right. But it's so, like, obviously I only ever saw it from my perspective, like from how I experienced it. So when I heard like my girls and people who watch my videos saying to me like, oh, I didn't think he was like the right person for you, or I thought he was this, or I thought he was that, after we've broken up. I'm like, oh, it's so intriguing to hear what other people make of it. And this is someone that does not know me in person. She's just found my videos by chance, and even she can see it in the very small amount of videos he's in, because he didn't mind being in my videos. He hated being in my TikToks. He was like, I don't want to stand there and do a TikTok. And I was like, oh my god, you don't want to stand and do a TikTok, you don't want to go to karaoke, you don't want to go out dancing, but then the minute we break up you go clubbing. Oh, so you did just actively hate me. Like, that's fine, but grow a fucking pair and say something, dickhead. Like, don't even piss me off. And then someone else commented, it kind of seemed like he didn't stand up for you and didn't have a backbone. You don't want someone you can just push about. Get someone who can match your energy. Yes, I know that's right. And then that woman also commented on another one, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. Did she? Okay, yeah, she said, on my first Valentine's Alone vlog, she said, me again, after going back to see you with your boyfriend, you are so much happier and louder. Like, you're taking up space and not overwhelmed, tired, stressed, etc. You are fully embodying and really living, and all fun. Nice to see, and hope you see it now too. Then she DM'd me, okay? Because she'd already DM'd me about something else, and then she DM'd me again, and she put this again, had me crying. She said, sorry, spent Wednesday binging your videos. Sorry, I left a lot of comments hating on your boyfriend. Sorry, I hate him. I literally was sat there crying. Sorry, I was crying. I was crying my eyes out because she hit the nail on the head. And just seeing someone publicly just rip him to shreds. Like, I can't stop that. I can't stop someone's free will. But that is just so... Like, I'm sorry, that's gold. Like, that is so funny to me. Oh, my God. I actually don't even have the words to describe how much that made me laugh when I was getting those comments, because I was posting them on my close friend's story, and Zoe, who does my nails, she was like, who is this woman? She is so funny. And I was like, I don't know, but she's my hero. I want to meet her. I think I see her like Christians see Jesus. Like, that's how I see this woman, because she is really looking out for me, and God bless her for doing so. And now I feel like I have so much more time and space just to be myself, but also to work out what the fuck is wrong, okay? Because, oh my God, this is something I've literally not spoken about this on the podcast since this happened. I got diagnosed with ADHD last week. This week? No. Last week? No. This week? No. When was it? Was it this week or last week? It was this week. Surely. Was it? When was it? It was last week. Oh my God. I'm actually fucking useless. It was last week, okay? I got diagnosed with ADHD. I went to an ADHD assessment the week before last, like 2 weeks ago. I went for an ADHD assessment, went in, the guy was like, I definitely think you have it, but I need to speak to the psychiatrist. So I was like, yeah, litmus. He also said to me, he was like, I don't know if you realised that you did this, but you accidentally filled out the autism assessment. And I was like, no, I didn't realise. And he was like, oh, probably the ADHD. And I was like, lol, you're funny. And he was like, you scored very high. And I was like, stop it, overachiever. I was like, that's like the first and last time I'll ever do well on a test. And he was like, no, you got like a 9 out of 10. And I was like, oh, that must have been my mind, because my body's 10 anyway. And this face card with makeup on, that's a 10 anyway. So he was like, yeah, has anyone ever told you that you might be autistic, or like thought that you're autistic? And I was like, my ex-boyfriend, yeah. I was like, and like, yes, I've been told a few times that like I definitely most certainly probably have autism. And he was like, okay, well, we can refer you to get a screening for that. And I was like, yeah, may as well, like, why not, just chuck it in while we're here. And so now I'm on a waiting list to see if I have autism as well. But I was formally diagnosed with ADHD, and now I am waiting to speak to someone about going on medication, which is nerve-wracking, because even though I eat like shit and I drink like shit and I put so much awful stuff in my body, and I am impartial to having impartial or partial? I'm willing to have a drunk cigarette now and again. I'm very like picky about what medication I take, because my body is very fragile when it comes to medication. Like, I cannot take anything with hormones in it because I'm allergic basically to progesterone, so I can't go on birth control at all. Like, at all. I can't go on it because my body doesn't agree with it, and it makes me really depressed and also really sick because I got PMDD while I had the implant in my arm, which is one of the most, I think it's like the most invasive birth control you can go on. So if I was to get a birth control, I think I'd go on the non-hormonal coil, which obviously they just shove up there. Speaking of that, and like, I'm trying not to stray too far from the one story, but I have to bring this up while it's on the forefront of my mind and we're talking about shoving things up my box. I am getting my smear test. I literally, like, happy half birthday to me because I've just turned, basically it was my half birthday the other day, and I've just turned 24 and a half. And obviously your smear test, you can get it when you're 25, but they've started like doing them like when you turn 24 and a half and onwards, right? And when I tell you, the moment I found out what a smear test was, I was gagging to get one because I have such bad health anxiety. And all I want is just like confirmation that things are like okay and everything looks all right. And so I got a text. Well, I got a text. No, I got a notification on the NHS app saying that you can now book your smear test. And I literally, like, I think I didn't jump for joy because that's not really like my vibe. But like, I shrieked. I'm more of a shrieker. I shrieked. I was like, ah! I'm so excited. So I booked my smear test yesterday, so it's not next Tuesday. So when you're seeing this, it'll be less than a week until my smear test, and I will be giving you the very gruesome, intimate details of how it goes because I'm so excited. Oh my fuck, I'm so excited to get my smear test done. I know it's supposed to be like uncomfortable and whatnot. It's like 5 minutes, okay? And I have been like sexually assaulted, so I think I can deal with anything, you know? So yeah, I've had someone literally stick their junk up my ass without consent, you know? So like, I can do a smear test. I can 100% do that. And I'm very excited to get it done. Like I said, it's just the sort of thing that gets me going. That gets me going. Not gets me going, but it will be like the most action I've had in months. So there's that. But what was I even saying about ADHD? I got diagnosed with ADHD. I don't even know where this came from though. I feel like I'm just catching you up on what's been happening. Yeah, I got diagnosed with ADHD and it makes sense. And when he asked me if I was like shocked or relieved or surprised, I was like, no, none of the above. I was like, not to be a bitch, but like, I kind of already knew. I was like, and also like, not to clock your tea, but I was on the waiting list for 5 years. And in those 5 years, obviously, like, I was like just battling whatever I was going through, like in terms of struggling like with my memory or my time management or like my relationships. I was like, so if anything, I kind of just was like, yeah, if I have it, then like I'm kind of dealing with it in my own way. So now, medication, we were talking about that. So now going on medication, I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. But I also am excited because it will be interesting to like see if it helps, see if I can like sort of regain my focus, because someone said, my friend said to me, and then also the doctor said to me, he was like, it's not going to turn your mind off. He was like, but instead of having like 50 different train of thoughts, you'll have like 2. He was like, and it will like quiet it down a lot. So I have a medication review, but I actually need to ask to rearrange it because I booked it for when I'm in Glasgow next week, ? Why the... And I knew it when I booked it. I was like, what the fuck? Why did I just book that on that day? So I need to rearrange that, and I need to do that literally... Oh my fucking God, I need to do that on Monday. Or are they open today? I don't know. But I need to rearrange it because I'm going to be in Glasgow/Edinburgh. But Edinburgh, oh my God, obviously going to Glasgow, me and Sophie booked it and we were like, let's get the train this time, like let's have a kiki. And then there was a huge fire at Glasgow in like right near the station, so now our train is not stopping in Glasgow, which is just it's interesting to say the least. But also like, I also think like everything like that just makes a good story, and like life is about adventures, is it not? I watched Mamma Mia in the cinema the other day, and Stellan Skarsgård in that film, like I remember watching that as a child and being like, who is that hunk of hot? Like, who is that man? But you know, life's an adventure. He said it first, like he's a spontaneous type, and that's going to be me. That's going to be me stuck 30 minutes outside of Glasgow when we have to change trains and work out how to get there. Okay, because obviously by nature I'm a driver. I drive my car every fucking where I go. So I'm not a public transport kind of person. Which is also why I'm the sort of bitch to be like, let's get an Uber. let's get an Uber. But then again, if someone wants to get a bus, I'm like, oh, I could bus. Like, because the bus is fun to me. The bus is like, it's good vibes. And normally it drops you off like a pretty good distance from wherever you're going. But like, I would not get the bus around here. Like, where I live, you literally couldn't pay me to get the bus around here, because I just feel like they run so fucking slowly, and they're never going to go where I really want to go, and it's like I could just get there in my car. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not a public transport person. But then again, I always think about, I would love to live in London, and I would just love to be like commuting on the tube. But then I think about the tube strikes, and it just like, maybe I'd get a bicycle. I would love to get a bike, actually. I've been thinking about getting a bike, but then I think about how the fact that I have no money to afford that. Like, I have so many outgoings, but my spending habits have gotten a lot better since my breakup. I think I was spending so much when I was in my relationship because I was so fucking depressed, and I was like, oh, like maybe a new something, maybe a new top or a new coat will make me feel better. Whereas now I feel like I'm actually spending with intention. So go me, I'm like the best at everything ever, well done. But where was I even? I started off by talking about medication. Yes, I'm not on birth control. Do not get excited. I do think I'm fertile, which is not like something I'm worried about at all. But obviously, when I got pregnant, which, yes, spoiler alert, I got pregnant. I know, MILF, you're thinking, dream on. Okay, I didn't have it. But I would be a MILF. If I had had that baby, the baby would have been 2 this year. That is actually just horrifying to even think about. Thank God, you guys, thank God. But when I got pregnant, I literally got pregnant from fucking once with no condom. Like, once. Obviously, it was in my fertile period, but like, I was like, damn, we are both fertile AF, which is why I was like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way, because I wouldn't say that the abortion process was like traumatic in terms of like physically, but the hormones, this is the thing. And like, when I talk to people about getting a termination, abortion, whatever you want to call it, I never want to put anyone off, because it's your body, your choice, and you should do what's best for you. But the only like downside to the abortion that I faced personally was how badly it affected my hormones. I was not right after that for a long time, but that is because I'm so like, I think my body is so sensitive to adding hormones that aren't already there, and they already, okay, what the hell was that? Just someone throwing pants in my room. I literally don't know what to say to that. Why would you do that to me? Anyway, I think my body struggles, yeah, to like even handle the hormones that are already in my body. So that's why I don't take any sort of hormonal birth control when I was in a relationship. When I'm not in a relationship, I'm just not going to do it, because why would I disrupt the natural state of my body? And this is, again, not telling you not to do it, but this is just my own personal experience. And it's what made me like fucking crazy. It made me crazy. I had such bad experience with the implant. It was actually awful. Also, like, feeling the implant under my skin made me feel like actually nauseous. Like, what the fuck? But now I feel like as well, this episode seemed to get a lot deeper than I intended it. I just was going to make a little like joke and a kiki about Hinge, but like, this has gotten a little bit deeper than I expected or anticipated. But like, this is what's fun. We can just have a like a little chat, you know? This is why I also like every so often I'm like, oh, I need to ask like someone to film a podcast with me, because it's good to have someone to bounce off of, because otherwise I'm just here like, who the fuck did I marry part 1? Anyway, but wait, where was I going with this? Oh, talking about sex and like hormonal like feelings and whatever. Obviously, I haven't had sex, right? Oh my God. Oh my days. I haven't had sex since last year, which I know me and my boyfriend broke up in January, but I was so angry at him over Christmas. I literally didn't even let him watch me change. I would be like, can you either face the wall or leave? And if he didn't, I would be like really like making myself tiny while I got changed, because I was so angry at him. But my relationship with him and my relationship with myself during that time, I really struggled in terms of like my body. And I don't think I have body dysmorphia. I think I have facial dysmorphia, because I'm never sure on like how I actually look. Like, I'm so convinced I'm ugly 100% of the time. And like, My body, I'm just like, oh, my body, I just think it looks exactly how I see it. Like, I can't imagine it looking any different. There are parts of my body I would like to change, but I'm not making myself feel awful. I'm not going to stop eating or whatever, because like I just, like, I didn't eat while I was at uni, not because I wanted to get skinny, but because I was so anxious and I used to throw up every day. That was a fun fact about me at university. There was obviously, those are supposed to be the good old days, aren't they? They were the fucking bad, worse, awful old days. Anyway, so when I was in that relationship, I had a really weird, complex relationship with my body. Like, I hated feeling sexy. I hated wearing anything that was deemed sexy. I hated wearing like matching sets of lingerie. I hated having sex. I hated everything to do with it. Like, I hated being naked. I felt so uncomfortable. And I don't know why it was. And like, maybe it is the whole thing of your body rejecting who you're with, or like being like, oh girl, this is not it. But since we broke up, I feel a lot more like at peace with my body, and I feel a lot more confident, and I feel a lot more like as if I have like control again over how I feel. And now I'm like, the only reason I was ever on a dating app was to get cracked. It's like, truth be told, because I'm just like, oh, I would love to just like have very meaningless sex with someone that I don't really know. Like, I know them well enough to sleep with them, but then I can just be like, okay, well, I'm obviously not like completely uninterested in sex. It's just like, I don't even know, because when I was single, when I was single before me and my ex-boyfriend got together, I was just sleeping with anyone. But the thing is like, that really diminished my self-worth, because I put all of my sort of like self-worth in their hands, and I was giving them a lot of power over how I saw myself. But also it was not good, because a lot of the guys I slept with I'd then get feelings for, even though I knew they were awful or I hated them. And it was because I thought that that's what I wanted, and I wanted to be in a relationship. And then obviously I met my ex-boyfriend, we got together, and I met someone like organically, got into a relationship with him, and like, we didn't sleep together straight away. Like, it was very Carrie and Aiden, you know. It's not Carrie and Big. Oh my god, I do not want to find a Mr. Big. Big, no, I don't want, no. But I thought it was so empowering. I was like, yes, I'm so feminist for sleeping with whoever I want. And it was like, go, no, that is not it. Like, you are just like, obviously just very insecure, and you're just finding these men who will give you like one night of like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty, you're so this, so that, which is why I was so, I am so cautious of meeting someone, because I want, like, my boundaries are very easily pushed about. And that is like just me being open and honest. Like, yes, I'm always like, oh, I hate men and I hate this and I hate that, but like, don't get me wrong, I'll sleep with a man, but like, my boundaries can very easily be like pushed around and negotiated, which is something that I want to work on, because it's not what I want and who I want to be. I want to be able to hold myself high, to know what I want, to like give the expectation and the boundary, and that be respected and met, you know. So now that I'm single, I'm having a lot of time to do reflection, and in my journal each night. The problem is I get to journaling and I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered, so I'm not fully writing what I'm like thinking, but I have like sort of noted down that I really want to work through these feelings of like, why do I put so much pressure onto speaking to a man, and why do I let it affect myself and my mental health and like my well-being, when they don't know anything about me. And like, I have such an imagination that I'm just running away being like, oh, like this, maybe I'll meet him and he'll be the one. I have literally said on multiple occasions, I do not want to have a boyfriend. I don't want a boyfriend, because I just want to be single. I want to explore, I want to travel, I want to do my own thing, and I do not want the expectation to be there of like having to appease the other person. Like, I just want to be able to like do my own thing, and I don't think that's much to ask for, and I don't think that is like gonna change at all, unless, I don't know, maybe I met like, I don't know, a fucking Leng celebrity. Like, who would I give that up for? Matthew Gray Gubler. Never forget when I said that if I married him I'd be Maisie Gray Gubler, and my best friend was like, why would you take his middle name? I was like, oh, I'm stupid. That's that. Who else is like my biggest celebrity crush? Connor Story, but I think he's gay. Even if he's not. If he wanted a lavender marriage, I'd go for him. But I'd go for him anyway. Who else? I can't think, but basically I'd give it up for a lenger. Like, I'd give it up for like a celebrity lenger, because I'm like, oh, you could just fly me across the world. Like, and like you could crack and you're like pretty well off, which is not something I look for in a man. Like, I'm not like, oh, are you rich? But also, like, let's just be realistic about things, because I'm terrible with money. So, like, let's just know what we're getting into. But I do really think now I have a lot of space to explore, like, how I'm feeling, my relationship with my body, kind of healing my relationship with sex. Because obviously my relationship with sex was warped when I got, like, sexually assaulted, fucking raped. All of these interactions I've had with men who have sort of, like, you know, put all of their interest in my body, which is fine, because like if you're just sleeping with someone, that like that's completely normal. But like when I was doing that a lot, I wanted more from these men, and then it just destroyed me when I realized that they just didn't want that from me. And I was like, oh, it's my problem, like I'm a whore, I'm this. And it's like, oh my god, so what if you are? Be a whore, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's how I'm feeling 2 months on, which I didn't even mean for this to be the whole focus of the episode. But like there were other things I wanted to say, like about my ADHD, which is like quite exciting to know that I have that, and it's something I can work through, and like I'm dealing with that, and I find it very like comforting knowing that that is something that I have now, and that I'm not just completely fucking mental. In other news, the Oscars are tomorrow. I feel nauseous. Michael B. Jordan best be winning that Best Actor. Fucking Timothy Chalamet, shut the fuck up challenge. You know that was so painful for me, because I've been such a diehard fan of his since Call Me By Your Name, and now he's just saying anything. He's got say anything itis, but the type where you need to, like, you know when a dog gets hit by a car and you think, could I save it even though its legs all mangled up and broken, and you're like, no, just put it down. That's how I feel about him right now. Just shut the fuck up. Like, who gave you a lobotomy? Actually, to be fair though, like loads of videos have come out from him in like 2019 being like ballet, opera, like, and it's like, oh my god, I think he is just a frat boy. Like, someone was like, he doesn't want to be an actor, he just wants to be a celebrity, and it's like, well, you're in the right family for that, aren't you, mate? Like, fucking hell, plastic fantastic. Anyway, it's so, oh, my granddad's here. It's so deeply upsetting to me. But then again, like, you cannot put your faith in anyone, especially not a man, which is why I deleted Hinge, because oh my fucking god, that app is a parasite. It's a meat market. It's scary. And you know what? I made a TikTok about this the other day. I was saying, if I was a teacher, you know when a teacher, so this is what I was saying, you know when a teacher's getting cracked at school, and you're like, oh my god, you're getting some because you're so happy, you're letting us have our basic human rights, like, you are letting us go to toilet, you're letting us talk, you're letting us listen to music. Like, sometimes they'd even let you eat in lesson, and you'd be like, oh my god, thank god for whoever's dicking you down or like scissoring you up. Anyway, so you're like, okay, like they're getting cracked. And I literally remember once in school, my teacher had left her like Teams chat open, and she was speaking to another teacher, and he asked if she wanted to get a cheeky Nando's, because that's when like cheeky Nando's was like the thing, and everyone was like, oh, cheeky Nando's, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, and she was like, yeah, sounds good. And we were all like, oh my god, like, you are getting chicken wings, and then you are like you're getting winged, like, you are like, you're going balls to the walls with this. If I was a teacher, I'd be the worst teacher ever, because if anyone was mean to me, I'd cry, and I'd just get so angry, and I'd cry basically all the time, and like, I just, like, responsibility is just not my sort of thing. But anyway, like, especially not that sort of responsibility of like educating the new generation. But if I was a teacher, I would get my projector up, and I would project my Hinge profile onto the screen, and I would say to the children, you need to tell me where I'm going wrong. You need to look at my profile and tell me what I can change, what selfies are good, what selfies are bad. And then on like a Friday, well, I say a Friday, I would do this any sort of time of the week, but I would just be like, let's go through who's liked me, and like, let's analyze their profiles. Like, this could be like social studies, could it not? And then if they were well behaved and they were good, like, I would buy roses on the rose page, and I would let them choose who I gave a rose to as a treat. You guys have been so well behaved this lesson, so you guys can choose who Miss Fuller sends a rose to. Because I'm sorry, this is how we need to now be educating the new generations. Like, pi is out, algebra out. When have they ever even been fucking in? Okay, what is in is learning to navigate and work your way around the hinge meat market. Okay, I'd say to them, this lesson Tinder, this lesson Hinge. I'm going to teach you how to be good on Hinge, you know? This is what we need to teach them, because when is algebra ever going to come into your life? Never. When is Hinge going to come into your life? Probably a few times. And if you're anything like me, you're going to delete it, re-download it, go on it, delete it again, maybe 7 to 8 times a day. And that's more than I've ever used algebra. I've never used algebra since I left school. I was one of those bitches in school that was like, why are we learning this? We're never going to use it. But only when I had the confidence in like year 11. No, it was year 10 and my maths teacher hated me. He absolutely hated me. No, it wasn't even year 10. It was year 9. It's because I was so bad at maths. So I was like, oh, like, why do I have to learn this? And I think he was just like, you're fucking dumb. Like, you need to learn it, but you're not learning it because you're dummy. And I was like, okay. I can't even remember his name, but he was giving my mum so much attitude at parents' evening. He was like, what is her problem? And I was like, what's your fucking problem, mate? Like, you know what I wish I did? I wish I went, oh, you got something on your top, and then just flicked his fucking nose with so much aggression, because maybe that would have taught him to shut the fuck up. Like, fuck around and find out, bitch. Like, do not bring this up in front of my mother. This is a potential mother. And then my year 10 and year 11 teacher, oh, child, I had the biggest crush on that man. He smelt of donuts and cigarette smoke, and I actually thought he was the one for me. I think I've spoken about this before, how my old best friend would like purposefully not do her homework so that she had detention with him, because like that's how much we fancied him. I could never do that, because I basically went the whole of school without getting detention, which I was so proud of, until like year 10 and 11, because I forgot to check out in my maths homework twice, and so I got 2 detentions, and I was like, this is like prison. Like, why? What is going on? And I literally was like, I've never done this before. Like, this is the first time I've ever not checked out, and you're giving me a detention right away. Like, surely it should just be verbal warning, should it not? Like, this is what happened if I got pulled over, surely. Oh my God. And then when I did my speed awareness course, like, they're preparing you there. They're preparing you there for when you get fucking held in a detention. You get held in detention in school, you get a speed awareness course, and then you go to prison. I would not last well in prison. But then again, like, if it's anything like the Orange is the New Black, at least I'd get my bauxite. So, who wants to do that? So, you know, oh my God, this guy, I don't know how he found my TikTok. He just found my TikTok today, and he commented on my TikTok, "You're so perfect." And then he messaged me saying, "You're so beautiful." And then he commented like, "You are the prettiest person on the most beautiful woman to walk the world." And I was like, how am I getting that from a random guy on TikTok, and I never got that in 3 years with my ex-boyfriend? Like, the bar is literally on the floor. What are we doing? But honestly, recently I will say I've been looking lenger and lenger. Like, it's just getting like new heights. Today, I don't know if I'm feeling it because my face is quite matte, but that's because I've got a fucking full coverage foundation on, because my skin is so bad. Like, my Hinge-induced breakout from the last couple of men I've spoken to on Hinge, they really haven't done me very well, and now my whole forehead is broken out. But Mario Badescu has been coming in clutch. I've been putting that like spot drying treatment on so that I can't pick up my skin, so there's that. But yeah, my brother's turning 30 tomorrow. Quick shout out Evan, type 1 diabetes, and my first brother, so he's always number 1, and he was the first child, so he's topping the charts all over. 30 years old. What's scary about that is that I've been telling people that Evan's 30 for about 7 years. Because I just never knew what age he actually was. And like, even last year I was like, I can't believe Evan's turning 30 this year. And my mum was like, he's literally turning 29. So he's finally reached the age that he's been for 7 years in my mind. So happy birthday, Evan. I hope he has a wonderful day. We would celebrate, but my mum has literally got COVID, so he's starting a new job. Congratulations, Evan. So yeah, he doesn't live with. I don't even know if Evan's ever properly been in one of my vlogs. Maybe a Christmas vlog, but I don't really see him. Like, he's there, but he's just like in another town. He's got his own thing going on. He's got a cat. So also, Evan is the one that introduced me to Hamilton. So I do have, and he introduced me to the 1975. So I have him to thank for both of those things. And me and my best friend got tickets to see Leslie Odom Jr. play Aaron Burr on the West End this year. So that is fantastic. Killing myself. Postponed. Thank you very much, because I literally couldn't believe it. Like, when he got announced going back to New York, I was like, we should fly over there. And then I was like, wait, I literally would rather do anything than go to America right now. Plus, they would just have to open my Instagram and they'd be like, you are not coming in. I think they would actually shoot me on sight. They would be like, there's absolutely no way you're coming in. Like, the amount of stuff you've said about the US. You're banned. You're banned. So I was like, oh, we can't go to New York. And then when that got announced, I was like, oh, if I don't get tickets, like, something bad is going to happen to someone or multiple people. And then I got tickets. So thank God, for the greater good of the world and the safety of the people around me, I got tickets to go and see that. Thank God, you guys, thank God. I just feel so grateful. Mother's Day tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day to Mama So Stitches. Mama hates bitches. She's fab. She's been my mum since birth and she's doing a pretty good job. I bought her hula hoops the other day because she felt ill, and then she told me that my dad ate 2 packets of hula hoops and I called him a fat bitch, I actually think I might have said a fat old fuck. And then it turns out I'd actually eaten both packs. I thought she meant he ate 2 more. So we were sagging him off all day. And then it turns out they were the packs that I ate. So I'm the fat old fuck, apparently. Which makes sense because I am turning 25. Which was the cruel reminder from my pap smear notification. Pap smear? Pap smear? My box smear test. That I am turning 25 this year. What have I done in 25 years? Oh, I don't really know. So yeah, on that note, I think I might spiral if I start thinking about how little I've achieved. But you know what? Here we are. I'm in my grimace chair. I'm feeling content. I'm still alive. So I'm going to take that all as a win. Okay? Thank you for watching or listening, or both. Oh my God, both. I'm so spoiled. I'm in Glasgow as you're watching this. Well, if you're watching this when it first comes out, I'm in Glasgow. Top of the morning to you? That's Irish, isn't it? Bagpipe. There you go, that's Scottish. Okay, bye!